What's good, ladies and gents? Welcome to the MKL Pugilism Boxing channel where we talk all things boxing. Remember to like and subscribe, hit the bell notification, put it on all so you get notified of all the latest videos on this channel as and when they drop. So yeah, let's get into this one. So August the 20th, I believe it was, or August the 6th. Was meant to be the day of Tommy Fury versus Jake Paul. Jake Paul, the YouTube sensation that has decided to begin a boxing career. Hasn't really fought anybody of yet, but he is a novice. He's fought Ben Askren, the wrestler, the basketball player, and he's fought the UFC fighter as well. So he's a guy that, yeah, he's taken up boxing. He's cleverly picked his opponents, hasn't fought a boxer as yet. But he seems to be willing to do so. So we were meant to have him versus Tommy Fury, brother of Tyson Fury. That was supposed to take place next month on, I think it would have been the 6th of August. Now, a lot of people have been accusing Tommy Fury of ducking the fight because the first time he couldn't fight it would have been early in the year, I think about June. He pulled out of that fight injured. And a lot of people say, you know, Jake Paul said, you're a ducker, you're ducking me, you don't want this fight, blah, blah, blah. I kind of said, all right, let's give Tommy Fury the benefit of the doubt because obviously you can get injured. And it shows that he's got a respect for the sport and kind of respect for Jake Paul in that he don't want to go into it injured. Fair enough. Now, the second one comes about, and of course, as many of you will know that follow the story, basically, now recently, Tommy Fury has allegedly been told he cannot travel into America. He can't get into America. And it's all down to, I believe, links with Daniel Kinahan and to do with his brother, which in a sense, I don't know, it's a strange one because I kind of get it in a way, but I think it's a bit of overkill because I don't know that Tommy Fury was directly managed by Daniel Kinahan or had any sort of direct dealings with him. It didn't seem that he did. So it's a bit maybe overkill by the authorities because I don't know if he's linked to him managerially or MTK or anything. So I don't know whether there's a need of that. You know, I can understand more with Tyson because he was obviously, you know, MTK and he had the phone call and all this sort of stuff, so you can get it more. But Tommy Fury, not so much. I don't think he was. But anyway, so he's got this second opportunity. Then they said apparently the border force said no, you can't travel into the USA. Then Jake Paul immediately went to Twitter, said, yeah, you're a coward, you're this, you're that. Go to the embassy, they can sort it out. Tommy Fury comes back and says, nah, look, they can't sort it out, and apparently they can't get in. But then the thing that sort of got me to think, well, this guy, it seems like this Tommy Fury is kind of ducking it, is that he said, you know, Jake Paul sent him another offer, another opportunity sort of thing, and said to him, I'll come to England and fight you in England for, I'll pay you 500K. So he'll pay him like 500 grand and they could have the fight in England. And now this is in light of the fact that Tommy Fury had said that, and his dad said as well that, look, let's find a neutral country because I don't want to lose this fight. I don't want this fight to be lost or whatever. Get me a neutral country and we can do it and all the parties can agree and rare. But when Jake Paul offered him 500K, I think this might have even been something like yesterday. That's when I heard it. He said, look, 500K, I'll come to England, fight you in England for 500K. Tommy Fury then responds and says, I wouldn't get out of bed for 500K. You must be joking. You know what I mean? Come back to me when you're serious. Now, for me personally, you know, to me, that's kind of ducking in a way because at the end of the day, I don't know, as other people that know boxing will know that, look, I don't think he gets that sort of money to box anyway. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he gets big, you know, purses like 500 grand or whatever, because number one, he's a novice, and you know, number two, he's kind of a name, so it will get decent money, but I don't think he's gonna get $500,000 for fighting the journeyman and these sort of unknown opponents that he's been fighting. So for me, the way I see it is that probably, okay, 500K is less than the 2 million he would have got again, in America. But since you can't make it to America and you claim that you want this fight anytime, any place, anywhere, why not just, if you're sure that you can beat Jake Paul, the man's offering to come to your country, he will definitely have to take a pay cut. Jake Paul will have to take a pay cut because obviously the money's in America for him. That's where people know him more and all this sort of thing. So him coming over here, he will have to take a pay cut. And number two is it's probably a career high payday for Fury. I don't think he's getting like millions to fight these guys that he's fighting. I can't see that being the case. And more importantly, for your own pride, for your own sport, for the fact that you call this guy just a YouTuber, and many boxing fans do call Jake Paul, look, he's just a YouTuber, he's a bum, I can beat him, I can turn him over, I can do this and do that. And in my view, in my thinking, this is definitely a duck, because you've said all this about Jake Paul. Admittedly, yes, Jake Paul provokes it and he's got a big mouth and he chats a lot of rubbish about people. But at the end of the day, if he's offered you to come to your country, fight you basically in your backyard, not in America, for $500,000, and you can beat him, I would say you take that $500,000, you fight him and you shut his mouth if you're sure that you can beat him. But it's only if you're not so sure of yourself, if you're not so sure of beating him, then you find some excuse to not have the fight. So, that's my view on it. I think, at the end of the day, this is going to kind of hurt the credibility of Tommy Fury here. There's been 3 opportunities. Fair enough, the second one or the first one might have been out of his control. But even that, it kind of looks like a duck here. So, my view, why don't you just take the $500,000, fight the guy, beat him, and you can shut his mouth. You can have those sort of bragging rights over the man. But the way Tommy Fury is going is that, to me, I believe that this fight probably doesn't happen. And in a way, I've got to credit Jake Paul here, because as the Tommy Fury fight has fallen through, he's going to take on now Hasim Rahman Jr. And that's a pretty big scalp. I mean, Hasim Rahman Jr. is not the best of heavyweights, but at the end of the day, he's a heavyweight, he's a big lump, he's a big guy, he's bigger than Fury, he's bigger than Jake Paul, he's a big lump, you can obviously crack a little bit, and he's a genuine boxer. I think he's had about 18 bouts or something like that. So I think, by Tommy Fury being replaced by him, that's a good shout. And to be honest, if Jake Paul can go in there, and even if he can beat Hasim Rahman on points, that would be very impressive. But if he could take him out, I'm sure a lot of people will be saying that, oh, Hasim Rahman Jr., he took a dive and rare, because they can't believe a YouTuber could do that. But nonetheless, it would be really impressive, and I have to kind of take my hat off to Jake Paul for, he's going to step in there with a heavyweight. I don't know what weight they're going to fight at, because I think Jake Paul's about sort of a cruiserweight sort of limit, so he might have to make it at the cruiserweight limit. But nonetheless, he's fighting a genuine boxer, and he's taking a genuine risk as far as I'm concerned. I mean, Rahman's no world beater, he's no world champion, he's not like a top level guy, but at the end of the day, he's a boxer, and he's had several fights, and I think he had 100 amateur fights, so he's had 100 amateur bouts, which is more than some, a fair few of these pros, so that's quite impressive, and we'll see what happens. But anyway, let me know your thoughts on this whole thing of Jake Paul, Tommy Fury, the ducking, and what do you think of his new opponent, Hasim Rahman Jr.? Could he be the man to derail Jake Paul, or perhaps not? Let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section below. And until next time, it's MKO Pugilism over and out.